This is my Behance page for Project 1 Photobashing for imaging. The brief was to process and manipulate photographs in Adobe Photoshop to resemble figurative paintings found in the National Gallery of Victoria. So this is the image I chose from the gallery. It's Jean-Pierre Saint-Aur's Head of a Man from 1795. And the image I've chosen to manipulate is one I took of my friend Ed as a digital photograph. This is the initial sketch I produced, basically combining two images, having my friend Ed's head on the traditional garb of the 1795 man. My concept in undertaking this project, I aim to depict the changing image of man. I'll do this by juxtaposing the image of my friend Ed, his modern haircut and fashion sense, with the style of Jean-Pierre Saint-Aur's Head of a Man. The mid-tones of the painting will contrast with the bright yellows of the photograph and highlight the idea of change. Through manipulation of the photo, I can mirror the soft brush strokes, the textures of the paint laid on the canvas, and the high contrast of lighting. By employing techniques cited below, I aim to create an image that highlights both the differences and similarities between men separated by centuries. So the techniques. Using the techniques outlined in the video referenced, I aim to manipulate the photograph to closely mirror the style and feel of the painting Head of a Man. The method employed in canvas texture in Photoshop will give me the ability to recreate the feel of the painting and ultimately tie the composition together with a uniform texture. The smudging effect employed in Smudge Effects Photoshop Tutorials Photo Effects will give that painted effect to create a feel of such soft brush strokes used in the original painting. And these are just some stills of those videos that are listed here if you want to click on them. Throughout the process, I use an amalgam of techniques I had previously acquired and techniques I had researched for this particular project. I use conventional layer masking to composite the two source images and further merge them using a color lookup and adjusting levels. Then I employed the smudge technique from the tutorial video Smudge Effects Photoshop Tutorials Photo Effects and gradually created a brushstroke effect. My first draft, which is below, although on the right track, was too smooth and I felt a more liberal application of the smudge tool was required. So following the contours of the subject's face and clothing, I was able to create brushstroke-like distinctions between the light and dark tones and better mirroring the original painting. So this is my initial draft. It's pretty soft, I guess. It's not particularly there yet, so I'm going into a bit more detail further on. I use the same smudge technique when integrating the background image to create cohesion in the foreground. I then created a canvas texture by sourcing a texture online and using a multiplying blending mode to overlay the image. This method proved more effective than the technique from the tutorial video Canvas Textures in Photoshop, as it created a more consistent texture across the image as well as being less time consuming. To complete the image, I utilized dodge, burn and blur tools to further emphasize the light source and hide imperfections in the composite. Below is a screen recording of my process. If you want to click on that, go for it. Reflection. Through this project, I discovered new techniques, the importance of self-directed learning and research in the design process, and the benefits of displaying my work and process on several online platforms. Having a good grasp of compositing images in Photoshop and some of the techniques needed to deliver a final outcome, the major hurdle to overcome was creating a digital image that looked like a painting. The smudge effect I employed was to create the appearance of brushstrokes was one I'd learnt through this project. Previously, I was unaware of the versatile functions of the smudge tool, and I'm pleased to add this to my arsenal of Photoshop knowledge. I'm confident I can use this technique to effect in future projects and further grow my experience in Photoshop. A critical incident for me was the realization that more likely than not someone else would have previously encountered similar design problems. By conferring with peers and lecturers, as well as watching tutorials, I was able to navigate the hurdles that arose throughout the design process. Receiving in-class feedback was also a valuable tool to gain outside perspective on the project. I now have a greater appreciation for self-directed learning and the need to research in the design process as it makes for a more cohesive outcome, comprehensive outcome. The knowledge that there are endless resources at my fingertips is a valuable lesson and one that I hope to incorporate into my practice in future. Another critical incident for me was discovering the benefits of displaying my work and process through different platforms and mediums, particularly online. By incorporating Behance, YouTube, and Instagram, it provides opportunity for your work to be seen and increases your online presence. Previously, opportunity to work. Previous to this project, I hadn't used Behance, but now recognize it as a great tool for any designer seeking resources, feedback, and employment opportunity. I intend to continue using these platforms to display my work and design process and stay in touch with the wider community of design. Cool, and this is my final image and my references as listed. Cool, thanks.